I remember when I was 11 or 12 years old, we had these little goldfish ponds out back with some rocks around it for decoration, some water fountains, and we had a couple of goldfish swimming around in there. One day I noticed they had a lot of little babies, and I thought to myself, you know what, I bet you I could sell some goldfish. And I dreamed up people driving from miles around to pay $4 or $5 a pop. I even put some ads out in the newspaper. Well, it turns out in the 90s, people weren't that eager to fork out that much money for a little tiny goldfish. Fortunately for me, I did not have a lot of money invested in my goldfish endeavor. But I learned a lesson that it takes a little bit of elbow grease to do some research to know how to price something before you get involved. I've seen business owners dive headfirst into a great idea only to realize, oh, they might can bring it to market, they might can produce the service, but it costs so much and the market's not willing to pay enough to cover their costs. And now they're invested in the business. Not a smart move. To reiterate an earlier video, we need to start by looking for proof of demand. Are people already paying for a similar solution? If not, that could be a red flag, or maybe a sign of a truly untapped niche. But you want to solve a problem that people care about, something that feels urgent or important to them. And don't guess, you need a test. You can validate demand with wait lists, pre-sales, or even a simple survey. The goal here is to avoid building something that no one is asking for. But even if there's demand, you gotta ask, can I realistically deliver this? That means looking at your tools, your skill sets, your time, and support. It also means checking if this offer is scalable or at least repeatable. If every client takes everything out of you, your business model will not last very long. You got to think ahead. What's likely to break if I grow? What are some potential bottleneck areas, systems, people? What about my own time that I'm going to invest in this? Deliverability isn't just about today. It's about future proofing. The final piece of the puzzle is profitability. I know this is a short slide, and it may seem like this is not really important, but this section of your planning will require a lot of thought and a lot of time on your part. You gotta know your numbers. How much is it going to cost to produce and deliver what you offer? Break it down on paper. And then you ask, is there enough margin left over to reinvest, pay myself, and keep things going? If your pricing model doesn't allow for growth, or if you haven't taken the time to even consider this and you're barely covering costs, you're going to find out that all that effort for your business may not be paying you as much as you anticipated. And then a viable offer needs to be financially sustainable. You don't want to just break even. You want to build a future about yourself that you can be proud of. You also want to build a future that maybe you could sell this business in the future. But it needs to start now in the planning stages to make sure you have your ducks in a row.